Hello, hello, hello. It is coffee time. And I just got back from the dentist where I had my toothy pigs cleaned. Though, a bit sad because my dentist said he's leaving. So, it's the end of an era. I don't know, I feel quite empty inside. Again, because when you've had somebody's fingers in your mouth, you know, it's quite an intimate relationship, isn't it? Patient-dentist relationship. You know, they see the very inner you. So, yeah. So anyway, this is coffee time. Enough of my teeth. We are looking at the Daily Mail website to see if there's any news to be astounded by. I've not looked at the news at all today because, well, I'm just looking. What we got here? Let's do some court news first. It's early up there. It's early up the page. This is the story of Louise Law and her ex-husband Martin. Right, the pair from Goole in East Yorkshire. Right, got their 7-year-old. Does it say it's a boy or a girl? Doesn't it say? 7-year-old child. Right, to use in a wheelchair for 4 years in order to scam extra benefits. Yeah, and here is Louise Law, who she fought the law and the law won. She fought the law and the law won. But yeah, she was claiming mobility, disability benefits, and this is at Hull Crown Court. Well, don't worry, folks, they got their comeuppance. The court heard that the youngsters suffered gratuitous degradation of being forced to use the wheelchair, and they were bullied at school and deprived of an ordinary childhood. I don't know. Seems fair, you know, for extra cash. Come on, the kids should be thinking, what can I do for the family? You know, I think the kids not being very reasonable on this. You know, free money. Come on, let's all do the grift. Let's all do the grift. But yeah. In court, Louise Law admitted an offence of child cruelty, and she changed her plea on the day of a scheduled trial and was jailed for 6 years and 9 months. Meanwhile, Martin Law, who split from his wife and is now a long-term resident of a care home, was ruled unfit to enter a plea, although the jury convicts him of child cruelty. So yeah, it's just... not, don't do that. That's the thing. Just don't do that. A consultant psychiatrist said the victim continues to experience nightmares. They continue to struggle with feelings of overwhelming and deep shame. But hey, free money, innit? Free money. But there you go. Don't wangle the system, because the system will wangle you. I think that's the lesson, isn't it? Isn't that the lesson? Meanwhile, there's a battle raging in Sheffield, yeah, over the King of Sheffield's final resting place. Yeah, this concerns the marble gravestone of Big Willie Collins, who's often referred to as the King of Sheffield. I don't remember him being made the King of Sheffield. I would remember, but yeah, he's from the traveller community. That's all you need to know, really. But yeah, what happened is they built a 37-ton headstone without permission. I mean, that don't seem right. And of course the council said you didn't get planning permission, so they're going to tear it down. It cost £200,000. And the widow of Big Willie has threatened that there will be war. Look, there's even a jukebox where you can play some of his favourite tunes. That's what I'm going to have done. It's going to be my music. And you know what? No one, like the internet, no one's going to listen to it. It's going to be brilliant. It's just going to be just like real life. No one will listen to it, just like the internet. And yeah, so it's an absolute travesty that they've been allowed to get away with this. I mean, crikey, they have stories of people who leave like teddy bears on their children's graves and they get told off by the council. Meanwhile, this guy, they can build and this is Big Willie himself. Big Willie. It's not because of his cock. It's because he looked morbidly obese to me. And this is at Shire Green Cemetery. Remember, if you're from the traveller community, you can do exactly what you want because the law doesn't apply to you. Remember, it's okay as long as they clean up after themselves. Remember that. As long as they clear up after themselves. So there you go. 49. He was 49. Fuck off. You look fucking 79. Jesus Christ. And here he is. This is his widow. I mean, blimey. There you go. I say bring it on. I want to see this war. I want to see the war. More cult news. It's a cult news special, isn't it? Now this is a good one. This is Zohirul Haq. He decided to raid a East London newsagent's, and he pointed a gun at terrified staff at the shop in Bethnal Green. And he stole £200 in cash, but the brave shopkeeper managed to hit the panic alarm. Now the thing is he was easily identified because the 39-year-old was dressed as Little Lord Fauntleroy. No, this is how he dresses apparently. He has what's described as a fastidious dress sense, which makes him easily advisable, easily identifiable. Ah boy, in the old days they'd put a stocking over their head, wouldn't they? But he decides to, and here he is. This is one of the greatest mug shots ever. Look at this. He couldn't even be bothered to open his eyes. Look, there you go. So, but yeah, he was still wearing his suit with handkerchief when he was arrested. Detective Sergeant McGee, who made the arrest, said, I was on my own in the area and gathering evidence about the case when I noticed a man in the street who matched the suspect's description, i.e. he was dressed like Little Lord Fauntleroy. He stood out as he was wearing a really smart suit and a bow tie, and although he looked different to the one described by the victims, I immediately suspected this was the man we were looking for. So I said, nab him, Johnson. And he was also wearing a rucksack identical to the one worn by the suspect. So he was obviously returning to the scene of the crime. So yeah, and he got a 12-year stretch for it. There you go. Was it worth it? I don't know. And he won't be able to wear that suit inside. Now he's got to wear a special suit with arrows on. They don't make him wear those anymore. Do you remember? Do you remember in the cartoons they used to have suits with arrows on? Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of cult news here. I don't know whether just to do cult news. Let's go to Austria. Imagine having a lovely skiing holiday in the Austrian Alps. This is at the ski resort of St Anton, right, where a fight broke out on Sunday evening. Right, here it is. Look at that. Imagine going skiing. A little bit of après ski. Well, I think these guys had a little bit too much après ski. A fight broke out, which began in the bar and ended up on the street where punches and kicks were thrown. After the fight was broken up, the victim of the assault, a 29-year-old man, was taken to hospital, whilst the attackers escaped into a nearby pedestrian area of St Anton am Arlberg. But yeah, the thing was, right, is one of the attackers, because they're looking for, it was a 50-year-old and 67-year-old who attacked the 29-year-old. Well, anyway, the 50-year-old bit a large chunk of the man's nose off. He was peckish. Come on. A police spokesman said, based on the extensive investigations and tips from the public, 3 British holiday guests, 50, 50 and 67-year-olds, were identified as perpetrators. 50-year-old main perpetrator was arrested on the orders of Innsbruck Public Prosecutor's Office and taken to Innsbruck Prison. There you go. No account of what happened to the nose. Did he swallow it? Did he spit it out? Maybe it went solo. We'll never know. We'll never knows. Never knows. Don't know. Any other? So we got political news. Dishy Rishi's in trouble because he dared to put PMQs to say that, you know, he hit out at Keir Starmer and asked him what a woman was again, but this was deemed transphobic because, oh, I don't know, because it wasn't. Because it wasn't. But anyway, that's the story. That's the story. That's all they've got. That's all they've got these days. Is Dishy Rishi dares to speak reality. Oh well, and that's a shame. But Keir Starmer, who was aiming at, in trouble because it's come out that the Labour Party, you know the Labour Party, the ones that you like. You love the Labour Party, don't you? You're going to vote them in. Well, anyway, Keir Starmer has ditched Labour's £28 billion green investment scheme. Yeah. He's set to announce the latest U-turn after months of extraordinary wrangling. Again, I think this is because what's happening is they're beginning to realise that all this stuff is you can't do it. It's not doable. They can throw so much money at this, and it's not going to make a jot of difference. You know, it's not going to make a jot of difference. So anyway, this is, if you want to know what a complete idiot looks like, there's Keir Starmer. There you go. Don't worry, I think him and Rishi are equally bad. I think they're all bad. You know, I don't like any of them. Right? But I don't know. I might vote Tory just to wind everyone up. I don't know. I think I could really wind some people up if I voted Tory. What do you reckon? Vote Tory just to wind everyone up. But yeah, it just shows you that the Labour Party are pretty fucking clueless, just like the Tories. So good, isn't it? Isn't it good? The problem is, right, is on both sides of the house, we haven't had a decent leader since, I don't want to say Tony Blair, but I'm going to have to say Tony Blair. And since Tony Blair, nobody wants to commit to leadership. And that's the problem. That's not the problem. Meanwhile, we actually covered this story before. This is a story of Mr. Singh, who built a single story garage on his driveway back in 2019, right? Well, he got approval to build a single story garage at Vaughan Street in Birmingham in 2019, but instead he built they got a good picture of it. They've got one of these bloody do the slidey slide. Okay, let's do the slidey slide, right? So I've got to drag the slider. That's what he had. He had the garage, right, which he built, and he turned it into a little house. And you can see it here a bit better. Let's see. Not good. And now it's been turned into just a single kind of garagey thing because they said he didn't have planning permission. Right? But anyway, he managed to dodge any punishment because, you know, he did have planning permission all along, and he's converted it back to a garage. I mean, you know, it's like, okay. Slump. Yeah, that's the story. It's pretty boring. Pretty boring story, that. Yeah. Meanwhile, we do have I might leave that I might leave that for the end. Was it kind of an animal story update? Might do that. There's quite a few. There's quite a few court stories, but meanwhile, Nestle axed the breakaway biscuit yesterday, which left everybody upset. Again, everybody knows that the breakaway is just a poor man's club, isn't it really? And it should be consigned to history, along with Blue Riband. Am I wrong, or am I wrong? Bloody hell, we really are. We really have hit the bottom when we're talking about biscuits. Can't do that. Meanwhile, more from the world of stupid. The Wildlife and Countryside Link, which is a group of 80, which has a group of 80 members, including the WWF, that's the World Wrestling Federation, sorry, World Wildlife Federation, the RSPCA, and the National Trust, have put out a report that claims that the British countryside is racist, colonial white space. Excuse me. Yeah, it said. Our policy recommendations ensure that all people have the right to a healthy and natural environment. All people must have access to nature. Okay. And added, racist colonial legacies continue to frame nature in the UK as white space and people of colour as out of place in these spaces and environmental sector. Okay. And this is the Chief Executive, Richard Benwell, of the Wildlife and Countryside Link. And when you look at him, it just explains it all, isn't it, really? It just explains all this gibberish. And this is what, here you go, it's a picture of a nice white family, nice white couple walking through the countryside, because black people never go to the country. That, again, that's racist in itself. Don't they see how racist they're being? You know, maybe black people don't want to go to the countryside because they prefer it, you know, in the city. You know, a lot of white people don't go to the countryside. Oh dear. Yeah, white colonial space. Yeah, okay. It continued, cultural barriers reflect that in the UK. It is a white British cultural values that have embedded into design and management of green spaces. Oh, okay. You get the feeling they've just got too much time on their hands. I know there are black walking groups to go walking in the country, again, to encourage more going out into the country, because again, if you're not used to it, and again, city dwellers, if you again, white Londoners, don't go out, again, in the East End, the only time Londoners went out to the forest was to bury a body in Epping Forest. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time they only got any fresh air, was to bury the bodies. So dear. Charities directly supporting the report include the League Against Cruel Sports, the Countryside Charity formerly called the Council of Preservation for Rural England, Frog Life. You want to count that down on your Frog Life, mate? Frog Life, yeah, that's the name of a charity. Frog Life. The Bat Conservation Trust also support the report submitted to the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Race and Community, chaired by Labour MP Clive Lewis. Now, again, I think Clive Lewis is a black MP, but I imagine everybody in that charity is probably white, I'd imagine. But it's not the first time British countryside have been accused of being hostile to ethnic minorities. The Hate Studies Unit at the University of Leicester launched an investigation into rural racism. We don't like your sort round here. That's what they said to us when we moved to Norfolk, because we were from there, London. They just don't like anybody. But yeah. But the group Muslim Hikers, so there's a hiking group for Muslims, they said rural areas were perceived as unwelcoming and off limits to minority communities, while the University of Reading claims that the countryside is out of reach for non-whites as there is a threat of hostility to them. There you go. And it's at Leeds Bradford Airport. And it's near Garve in the Scottish Highlands this morning. Ah, two Westies, Shepton Mallet. And there's Cumbria. It's just snowing. Stay at home. Here it's torrential rain. I'm soaked. I've been damp all morning. I've been positively moist. It's been good. Meanwhile, this is a house that's up for sale. This is in Kings Norton in Birmingham. This could be our next property, I'm thinking. Yeah. This house was formerly owned by an elderly woman named Cynthia, but she's now gone to live in a care home, and it's up for sale. I don't know. I think we can describe this one as rural. Nice little doer-upper. What do you reckon? You can't see the chimney, and then the front garden's overrun that is spread up the front of the house. I mean, it's quite an imposing sight. What do you reckon, missus? Do you think we can take that on? Mind you, I'm not allowed to garden under doctor's orders. Garden with my feet? Here you go. This is it's up for auction. There's Bond Wolf putting up for auction, and there you go. Here's a window. I don't think there are any pictures inside the house, inside the property. It doesn't say what the quality of the insides are like. But yeah, it's on the market. A snip, 25 grand. There you go. You want to get down there. Here's a story. This is a story of the illegal migrant who wants to leave Britain. Yeah, this is Ala Eldin, who's Syrian. The 25-year-old says he feels trapped in the country and wants to get out. He'd been trying to escape the UK since last summer, when he was evicted from his hotel in Leeds. And for 5 months, he's been dodging the police and trying to climb on a lorry at Dover to head to France. And here he is. Here he is. And you're thinking, that's a nice picture. He's posing against a boat. You see, get boat, channel, migrant. It's a perfect picture, but you see, looks are deceiving because that is where he sleeps. He sleeps at a boathouse or a house that's made out of a boat. I haven't quite worked it out. But yeah, he don't want to be here anymore. Now, see, missing the trick here. Dishy Rishi should be down there. Quick smart. Because Rwanda. And then he can win his bet with Piers Morgan because he's sent someone to Rwanda. And he won't mind it because he's looking a bit pissed off. Look at him. He's thinking, mind you, those Crocs, man. He's wearing Crocs, isn't he? Rainbow Crocs, blimey. It's not a good look. I'll tell you, if he goes back to Syria wearing those rainbow Crocs, they're going to throw him off a tall building, you know that. Yeah. And here he is. Here he is settling down for the night. But yeah, won't somebody send him back to Syria, please? Oh, the humanity. That can't be real, can it? Is that a real story? Do you think that's a real story? I don't think it is. Number, alongside hosts Fiorello and Amadeus outside the Ariston Theatre. We have some exclusive footage. It's a long... Hey, here we go. Go on, John. Go on. Forget that. Fantastic. Fantastic. That's what you want. I think this is the... He went just like that. Okay, so that's one for the Brits who are watching. There you go. It's all right, isn't it? We have some design fails. I wonder if it's from Bored Panda. Let's hope it is, eh? No, this is from cheeseburger.com. They've stolen this from Cheeseburger. And this is design fail. So let's have a look. Let's see if we can raise a titter. We do like a titter or two, don't we? Here we go. It's the first one. Buy 3, get 2. Buy 2, get 1. I think my brain is broke. Yeah, don't know smoking. In an ashtray. Ideal for sharing. Serves 1. You can share it with your imaginary friend though, because I imagine if you're buying something that serves 1, you've probably got an imaginary friend, or the voice is in your head. This is the Econo camper mat. Why not? Why not? But he's not laying on it. He's sitting next to it. Look, he's using it as a. It's not a camper mat. It's a reading puff. Please do not turn off the light switch. It also operates the elevator. Would you like some delicious bleach? But that's a hair bleaching kit that looks like a kid's cereal. No. It's bizarre, isn't it? There you go. You've got a a plunger and a toilet brush built into one. You really do get the shit end of the stick when you want to unblock the toilet or the drain. There you go. It says my favourite colour. It's supposed to say glitter, but it looks like Hitler. My favourite colour is Hitler. Why not? Oh, fuck. Oh, dear. Meanwhile, yeah, animals like eating rubbish. There you go. Probably not a good example for the kids. And lemons, which are perfect for orange juice, of course, because that's where you get orange juice from your lemons. I don't know. Have we got any animal stories? Oh, God. Oh, my God. I'm hoping there's a long form video. There is. This is Tong Tong, not Ting Tong. Mrs. is laughing. This is Tong Tong, the world's first AI child. I shit you not. Are you ready? Okay. Yeah, this was revealed by scientists from the Beijing Institute for General Artificial Intelligence. Tong Tong, which means little girl, is an AI child that you can assign tasks, learns autonomously and explores its environment. Oh man, you know where this is going to end up, don't you? You know what they're going to do with Tong Tong. I feel grubby. Yeah, you know this guy hasn't got a girlfriend. You know why he's invented her, don't you? Ah, dear. And yeah, so AI children. What does it say? The BIGAI says Tong possesses the mind and strives to understand the common sense taught by humans. She discerns right from wrong, expresses her attitudes in various situations, and has the power to shape the future. Nah, I'm good, thanks. Meanwhile, we've got a late entry here. This is Rishi Sunak again, and he's got this new. He did this. He did a video where he's explaining the economy on a whiteboard, and they said it veers into kind of David Brent territory. And of course, everybody on the internet got hold of it and have turned it into memes. There we go. Never do anything with white space. Never hold up a placard or a card or stand in front of a whiteboard. Don't these politicos know anything? There you go. This is the NHS waiting lists. I imagine a Labour supporter did that. Don't worry, Labour are going to throw loads of money at the NHS, and guess what? Nothing's going to change. Oh, I think he should have done. It wasn't a trans joke, was it? He was just stating reality. He's a realist. And there's David Brent. There you go. So never stand in front of a whiteboard or hold up a placard if you're in the public eye. I think that's the lesson we learnt there. Indeedy. What else have we got? I'm still trying to find a... Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'm going to show that one. I'm not going to show that one. I found an animal story. Anyway, we can now finish, because we have a couple of animal stories to do. First one up is the whale story. Yeah, I don't know if you remember. Oops. Pop-ups. This is from the Evening Standard website. Remember, we saw the orcas trapped in the ice near the island of Hokkaido in northern Japan. Well, they've escaped. Yeah, town officials travelled to the coast later Tuesday and saw a dozen whales bobbing up and down. But when officials returned to the coast Tuesday evening, saw the pod had moved to the north, and it was gone when they returned again on Wednesday morning. So yeah, they managed to break their way out. Masataka Shiraganagi, who is an official for the region, said, "We believe they were able to escape safely." One group had submitted a request to the Defence Ministry to mobilise an icebreaker, which I said, to help free them. Although the trapped whales were in Japanese waters, they were not far from an island that is disputed by Japan and Russia. Japan marked the annual Northern Territory Day on Wednesday to renew its demand for the return of the Russian-held island. See, it becomes political. It instantly becomes political. Meanwhile, we've got a brazen Kingfisher. I don't think he's brazen. I just don't think he can read. This is a picture taken up in Scotland. Does it say who took it? Yeah. British photographer Jock Elliott, who comes from Angus in Scotland, in Brecon. He said, "I was 100 metres away from the bird in I was shooting from a wildlife photographer's hide, and he managed to capture an amazing series of pictures, which I think you'll find, well, I hope you'll find, quite amusing." Are you ready? There you go. I don't think he cares. Look, he was using it as a perch and using it for fishing. There you go. The Kingfisher breaks the rules. He's a kingfisher, he's allowed to. Blimey, let's see if there's anybody in. 13 people in, it's a party. Coolio says, "Morning, and why is Who's Next twice? It's a joke." What do you mean, twice? Surely some mistake. Thoughts on Supreme Court hearing today? What Supreme Court hearing? I'm in the UK. Don't really follow US news unless it's Trump doing something exciting. Oral arguments about what? I don't know what you're talking about. But Coolio, right, is very generously given me money, which makes me like them all the more. In fact, I'm gonna like. I can't like it. Somebody else like that. Thank you for the $4. That probably equals about, I don't know, £2.70. Oh well, better than nothing, innit? Clive's in. He says, "How you doing?" "I'm doing all right, apart from, like I said, having a strange man's fingers in my mouth this morning. But you know, you learn to enjoy it, don't you? Because you're paying for it." And he says, "Race them in the countryside." Yeah, well, again, country folk are odd. They don't like Londoners of any colour. As we found out, you know, they're not exactly friendly. Coolio says, "Are you able to see my message?" "Yeah, of course you are." But I don't look at them at the end. Yeah, Payne says I do it at the end. You see, because we do a roundup. If you're new here, if you're new watching, no one. It was you just get all the old farts in. All the old farts are in. You know. I know, but if you're new, if by some accident you've wandered in, right, and thought, "What's that bald-headed bastard gibbering on about?" I did look at the news, and then at the end, I look at see if anyone's in the chat, and then we have a little chat, and then I sod off and have lunch. That's how it works. And he's talking about it now. And you've got to go, well, I'm here now, mate. And Payne says, it's a treehouse indeed. Oz says, it's a regular party indeed. Payne says, perhaps if that unhappy immigrant paddles into the sea, a French rescue boat will take him to France. I don't think it works like that, Mr. Payne. Puff or poof? Puff, poof, puff? I don't know. Payne says, tong tong is wrong. Ting tong. Payne says, 3 cheers for the free whales, exactly. As I think Andrew said yesterday, Free Willy. But it's because he's gone commando. And Kugo says it removes Trump from the ballot. Oh, I don't understand. I don't get the rules of what the American political system. I want Trump to be the next president because I want chaos. I want total and utter chaos. Because don't you think it's a mockery that out of all those Americans, out of all of your society, the best you can do is Joe Biden and Donald Trump? That's the best you can do. That is the summation of the entire American experience. Well done. But over here, we're the same. We've got Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer. Do you get the feeling that the political system's completely fucked? It is. It's fucked. So there you go. Again, I don't know about the intricacies of American politics. Should he be allowed to run? I don't know. I want him to run because I like everyone losing their minds over it. It amuses me. It amuses me. Joe Biden shouldn't be president because he's obviously not very well man, and I feel sorry for him. And I think he should be retired with his feet up. They're saying that Trump's losing his mind too because these people are, pushing 80 for fuck's sake. I don't know. How did we get here? How did we get here? Hey, Andrew's in. He's got his underpants on today. So how do we get here? So I think we're all of the same mind, whether you're left, right, or otherwise. Again, I don't really believe in the left and the right anymore because what does that mean? The left and the right is always extremes. It's either extreme left or extreme right, isn't it? So I think talking in those terms is cobblers. What you want is a leader that's going to do the best for the people and for the country. And none of them do that. None of them do that. Because all of them together, all the world leaders, if they all got together, right, they could solve homelessness, they could solve world poverty, and they could solve famine. They could do it like that, like switching on a light. They could do it. They could solve all the problems if they wanted to. They choose not to because money, and that's why we're here. And Andrew says, "I'd vote for you. Please don't vote for me because I'd only be corrupt. I'd only end up being corrupted by the power and all those pretty girls." So that's it. And guitars, mind you. I already own all the guitars, so it's just going to be pretty girls then. Anyway, thank you for watching. That was coffee time for Thursday. And Bondi says Australian politicians aren't much better. Do you follow? Was it Friendly Geordies? Jordan Chandler? Is that his name? I might have got his name wrong. And his video about corruption in New South Wales. Fascinating story. That is fascinating. I like to know how our colonial cousins are getting on. I like to follow Australian and Canadian news. So that's someone you need to go and watch. Again, Payne said if they solve problems, they wouldn't need them anymore. So they don't. Indeed, they don't need to solve the problems because then there'd be no more money. There'd be no more power. And this is it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've gone on a bit of a political rant. I'm off to have me lunch. That was the news. Killing the channel one video at a time. You got to drink up. Ta-ta.